Hey, good afternoon. It is Thursday, March 20th. My name is Rob. I am that developer dad, and we are on to my new stream schedule. Up until now, I've been trying to stream twice a day, Monday through Friday, and I'm doing a little bit of work as a subcontractor with a private consultant who needs a little bit of extra help getting their code slung around. So I'm going to be giving her my mornings for the next who knows how long, for as long as it works out. And I'm going to cut my streaming schedule back to once a day. I'm going to try to get started around 2 p.m. each day, and I'll just do an hour. And as always, it's going to be C#, .NET, Blazor. I might take a side trip into JavaScript land here and there if I've got something interesting and useful that I want to share. And otherwise, we're going to be working on the DM's Familiar. It's the software as a service project that I'm working to get ready for release to the public. So let's dive on in. Yesterday, I realized that I was approaching the game stats editing in a completely wrong manner. And that I had the infrastructural classes and attributes and so on kind of sprayed all over the project. I'm applying them, the user editable attribute, directly on the townsperson domain class. And it doesn't really belong there because that's sort of my domain/logic manager area. And in terms of applying metadata for the purpose of developing dynamic user interfaces, that belongs down in the presentation project, or the Blazor project and application, as the case may be here. So I've started creating these inherited classes where I've inherited from townsperson to create an edit townsperson view model. And one by one, I'm overriding the properties that need these custom attributes applied to them. And of course, moving the UI only helper methods that those attributes require, and so on. Now, I've run into another little complication. It's okay. I anticipated that this would be an additional level of complexity. So we're going to start dealing with that now, where I've got these complex types that exist that are manifesting the properties on the townsperson. For instance, I'll just go to the definition here, and for my townsperson objects, I'm describing all of the appearance characteristics within this character appearance class. And if I go to that definition, it's got, a pile of properties and so on and so forth on it. So I should be able to treat this pretty much in the exact same way as I did the townsperson and moving its user editable properties out to the inherited view model. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, instantiation and all of that stuff for this, I'm going to need to do a little bit more munging, a little bit more massaging of all the stuff. So let's take a look. I want to see how I'm doing things on the townsperson view model at large. So I've got this, we're standing that up. I've got an internal edit townsperson. So let's go ahead and add an internal constructor. Oh, you doofus. Internal edit character appearance view model. We'll create that generated property right away. And then I'm going to say get out of here, spoilers, public override, and it's going to be generated property description. Return base.description, base.description equals value. What's this complaining about? Okay, yes. I do need to come over here to the description. I'll just pop down there to its definition and mark this as virtual. Save. And what's it complaining about over here? Save. Are you still complaining? Must match by init only. How is it set over here? Get set. I'll turn this init into a set. Fair enough. Now, out here on the townsperson view model, I've got these reflection helpers, like these factory methods. And so we've got this edit townsperson view model from townsperson, and copy properties. This is fairly generic. So I think rather than promote this copy properties method all the way up to, say, the game tools framework level, I feel like this particular method, I'm going to be able to use this for just about any of these domain model to view model type transformations. So it needs to be externalized from the townsperson view model. Otherwise, I'm going to be copying and pasting this method into every single one of my view model objects, and that feels wrong. So here's edit models. I think what I need to do is I'm going to add it to the editable model builder as a public object. Excuse me. Clone object. And let's take a look. Object source into object destination. And I want to say static. I'm just going to get rid of this. Now here's our edit townsperson view model. Public static void, copy properties. And let's see how this works. So we get a view model, it's new, copy properties, source, view model. Okay. Pop over here, change destination to target. And at the bottom, we are going to return target. Save. Now we'll look back over here, copy properties, source, view model. Okay. And I'm going to rip down here. I'm going to grab this whole shebang, copy the guts of this whole method. Paste it on in here. Copy object into. New instance equals editable model builder dot copy object into public static object clone object. Duh. And I can get rid of the type reference because I'm in that type definition. Clone object into set value, target new instance, okay, target value, target prop dot set value return target, all this good stuff. This needs a reference to reflection. Boop. This needs a reference to game tools framework annotations, and this needs a reference to game tools.concepts. Bam. All the angry code is gone. Good, good, good. This is a reflection-based deep copy method designed specifically for creating instances of view models from their parent domain classes. And I'm going to make this internal. It is intended for use only when constructing these view models. Save. Now, let's come back over to Edit Townsperson View Model. And instead of copy properties, I'm going to say view model, view model equals editable model builder dot clone. What's this complaining about? Object to game tools. Okay, that's fine. Edit townsperson view model. We'll just do a direct hard cast there. Editable view model builder, okie dokie. And I want to see if this will actually work. This is just, okay. The single reference left to the private static void copy properties is just a self-reference from within the copy properties because this is a recursive function. But we might remove this in a minute. I want to make sure it works. So we're going to rebuild. And I want to make sure if this is working, I'm going to be able to load the edit window and it'll paint to the screen, no problem. All right, are we built? We are built. Let us proceed to the running of the server process. Here's that. It's spinning up. Groovy. And I needs a new window. And let's see here. Home localhost. Which one is that? Localhost 7277. I'm going to log in real quick because it dropped my off ticket. As soon as this is done, I will pull it onto main screen. Here we are. Here's the DM's familiar. Let's take a look. Okay. And just because I'm a silly goose, I'm going to drop a breakpoint right here. Because I want to make sure that it actually enters that, that refactored clone object method. Good enough. Edit. Here we are. We've stopped there. And now I'm going to step in. Great. We're on clone object into source. I've got my townsperson. Target is an instance of the edit person or edit townsperson view model. Thing of beauty. Hey, Johnny, what's happening, man? So I'm going to pop back over to edit townsperson, drop another breakpoint here, and just let her rip. Is my view model complete and well formed? It appears to be. Full name, I've got my edited property, groovy, and go. Excuse me. Let's take a look at the UI and make sure it's painted for me. It is. Good. I'm going to change Ellen's Bright last name to Brightwood. Save it. There's Brightwood. We'll go back to the list. There's Brightwood. Everything is still flowing. Thing of beauty. So, next step. This explicit casting is a real pain in the neck, and it's super brittle. So I'm going to refactor this clone object into method. And I am going to TU U. Source is of type T. Target will be of type U. Type of T dot get properties. All right. And then target prop is going to be that's the property on the target instance. Okay. This should all still work. Good. Now, I do want to try and put a generic constraint on here where T inherits, or sorry, where U inherits T. T is a class. My wife just got home from a shopping trip and found a bag of all-dressed Lay's potato chips, which is a special treat from my home country. Circular constraint dependency involving T and T. Okay. I can never remember the exact right generic constraint syntax here, so I need to introduce a generic constraint between T and U where T and U must both be classes, and U must inherit from T. Thank you, Copilot. There we go, where T is a class, where U is a class that inherits from T. Mwah. Beautiful. Oh, Johnny, I hate it when servers and stuff fall over. That stinks, man. I feel for you, buddy. All right, so we've made this itty bitty little change. And now I'm going to come back over to the Edit Townsperson view model, and I'm going to comment this out and say view model equals clone object into from source, which is the incoming townsperson, to view model. Now it doesn't quite like that. That's okay, because I need to reference the class that owns this static method. And because I've made that method generic, it can now correctly infer the input and output types for me. So I no longer have to do this explicit cast. So I am going to rebuild the UI. Okay, that's done. I'll get the server process running locally. Groovy. And let's take a look. Bring this guy over here. Hit the refresh. And I'm going to drop that breakpoint in right here and here. I just want to make sure we can step into that call stack and then step back out again. So let's take a look at Element. Here he is. We're building view models. Looks like it worked. But we're just going to view, and now we'll go to edit. And I'll step over. My view model is absolutely an instance of type edit townsperson view model. So I'll drop these breakpoints and continue. And here is our editor. Uh-oh, it looks like we're missing a few things here. And that's not so great, actually. So what do we got to do here? We're going to want to step into clone object into. Definition. I don't even know what an OVH server is, Johnny. If I'm being completely honest. Custom attribute, has game object attribute. Create instance. Here we go. Here's that. Clone object into is misbehaving. But let's see what's what. Oh, okay. I understand. It's some company's cloud server type thing, like a Vercel or an AWS or an Azure or whatever. Gotcha. All right. So, new instance. This is going to be a character appearance. Good. Let's step. New instance. The value is character vocation. But my new instance. Okay, also a character vocation. Good. target prop is character vocation. All right. And target prop is coming from there, whatever. I'll just step. Keep stepping over. Now, target. Full name is there. Appearance, are we populated? We are not. We are not populating on appearance. All right. So that means we need to study this a little bit. Excuse me. Generated property set value, prop.getValue, property prop name. Okay, I'll just let her rip. So, on my target, I've got all this stuff. The value is character background. Okay, we have all that information here. Groovy. I'm gonna step. Oh, Rob, you goofball. Step out. All right, so we've created a character background instance. Good. Step over. And it is empty. My value type is character background. New instance is character background. Oh. Ha. Ha ha. Let's jump. I want to step in here. So the source is fully populated. We're all good there. Let's step in. The source is a character background. Target is an empty character background. Let's jump to the cursor up here. Step. It hasn't got any properties. What is my type of T here? All right, something goofy's going on here. Let's go, keep running. Hey, C-Films. You could host your images in GoDaddy with that cPanel. That's not a bad solution for you, Johnny. All right, I am getting myself all tangled up in reflection here, and that's perfectly all right. This is expected. Let's take a look at character background. These are all good. Character background is sealed. I bet that's part of my problem. But let's not worry about background yet. Let's focus on appearance and get it sorted. Now, its prop getters and setters are, its properties are all get set, gender get set. So there's no reason those should not be both readable and writable. Stop. But I suspect that my issue here is actually on the generic constraints, where I've got this must inherit type thing, and it's not allowing conversions when the types are the same. What I'm going to do is go type, source type equals source.getType, or actually I'm going to say type of t. Type of t. There we go. Target type, type of u. Source type, get properties, rename symbol, source properties, groovy. Now, I want to do a little bit of type checking. Bool, can clone equals false. If source type equals target type, can clone equals true. Else let's pop this on its own line. If target type dot is subclass of source type, can clone equals true. If can clone equals false, return target. There. We're just going to silently return. Save everything, rebuild it all. I'm going to rebuild the whole shebang. One more thing. If source type equals type of character appearance. Character appearance, and we're going to break. And what this will do, this is just a cheesy little hack so that I don't have to mess with configuring conditional breakpoints. We're only going to stop in here when we're trying to clone the character appearance into a different instance of itself. All right, let's rebuild again. There we go. Run our server. I'll be deleting this little conditional block as soon as I've successfully stepped through the character appearance cloning and diagnosed what I'm doing wrong. Because I'm definitely doing something wrong in here. Just got to figure out what it is so I can fix it. Manage NPCs. Reload to reconnect the Blazor circuit. Oh gosh, what's the name of that band? Okay, we never get to that breakpoint. I wonder why that is. I'm going to run down here. I'm going to grab this code, stop, pop up in here, if drop it back in here, fix up the indent, if prop.property type, Control C, paste here, rebuild, replace my breakpoint. And execute the server process. And let's see if it'll catch us up here. Because I got a feeling it's throwing exceptions, but there are, when we throw an exception in Blazor, it trips off this ridiculous unwinding of this bonkers call stack. All right, let's see what's what. Can clone equals true. Let's go. Okay, we're into prop.property type, character appearance. Now we're gonna just step over that, step in here, and we're gonna call clone object into. We'll step once, twice. Source type is system.object. That's not right. Target type is system.object. That's part of the problem. I'm going to step away for like less than a minute if I can help it, and then I'll be right back, and then we're going to figure out what the heck is going on in here. Be right back. All right, I'm back. We are losing our type information in here when we transition. And of course, can clone equals true. Then when we try to interrogate our source properties, we haven't got any. And that sucks. So what we got to do is we got to make that type safe. Let's spin down here. All right. I'm going to hide this run box. Pop open Copilot. All right. So here's an interesting conundrum. As we're migrating our complex property values around using the generic version of the clone object into method, we're losing the type definitions between source and target, for source and target. This is inside happening inside the if has game object attr branch. Probably need to discover the types, construct the appropriate generic method, and invoke that rather than just calling the static method. Don't we? Dealing with dynamic types discovered through reflection, we need to construct and invoke the generic method appropriately. All right. I don't really like the way it's doing some of this stuff, but we'll get there. String source prop type equals prop.propertyType.name. Now I can grab this stuff. So I'm going to grab everything from the comment on down to here. I'm going to paste it in here and fix up those variable names. Groovy. Now, if new instance does not equal null, view model type, property type, groovy. Now, this is where we get into some heavy duty inspection and manipulation of the .NET type system. What we're going to do is we are going to find a reference to the in-memory metadata for the clone object into method as it exists on the editable model builder class. And we're going to get a copy of that method information metadata. We're going to use that method information metadata to materialize an in-memory copy of that actual materialized compiled method, but compiled with our actual material types. And then we're going to invoke it. Blah, 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 blah. Quite a bit of meta programming here. All right, string, not string, but type, source prop type equals prop.property type. Come out at the end of that. Now, this needs to become source prop type name. Rename symbol, type name. There we go. And let's take a look. Excuse me. This becomes source prop type name. That's the view model. That's the type name for the view model that we're looking for here, if it exists. And we want that to only exist inside these edit models. Then we get the currently executing assembly, and we scan that assembly's type collection for a view model type that matches the expected namespace and the derived name. If we can find one, we assign that as our type to create. So it's either the view model type, and if that comes out null from our assembly scan, we're just going to roll with the current type of the property that we're migrating. We create a new instance of the type to create, and now we're going to do some manipulations. All right, and I'm going to say source prop type dot name. Dot name, groovy. So we start with the type, we get its name, we derive the inherited type's name, and then we work from the name back to a type. And once we've got instances of those type definitions, we can say var clone method info equals type of editable model builder dot get method. Is it just get method? Yep. Dot get method name of, nope. We're going to derive the name, clone object into, binding flags static, binding flags non-public. Yep, because it's an internal static class. And it looks like that is our method call to get the method info. Var typed cloner method equals clone method info dot make generic method. I don't want to go with source prop type to create. And we're going to have some, this might be null warnings coming up. And then finally, what I'll do is I'll just pop that like so. And say if generic typed cloner method is not equal to null, var cloned instance equals typed cloner method dot invoke null new object array carrying value and new instance. And I'm going to get rid of that object. I'm just going to pass a new array like so. Yep. And then target prop dot set value, target cloned instance, groovy. Save. And then I can come down here, I can get rid of this breakpoint. Although what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that code, slide it right up here up top inside this block. So I can still have my breakpoint when we're dealing with this, this type. And then down here below, we're going to get rid of this old code. Goodbye. And then these, all this green code, this is all comments that describe all of that goofy type manipulation that I just walked through building out here. And I totally need to put a breakpoint here and step through this on its first trip through. Because I want to see that this works or not. And if not, why? And then we'll fix it if it's broke. Probably through some more confused Witcher noises. But we'll get it. Reflection is incredibly powerful, but it can also make your brain tangle itself up in knots. So baby steps are absolutely the best way to approach it when you want to try using it. All right, now we'll reload here. We're executing just fine. We'll take a look at view. We're groovy in here. Let's go into edit NPC. And we did not stop anywhere because I didn't put a breakpoint on anything, because I didn't rebuild the darn solution like a goofball. The breakpoint totally deactivated. Rebuild. And it's still not behaving itself. I have a feeling that we're not finding an actual thing inside the clone method. We'll find out. Okay, we have rebuilt. Now I can execute the server app. hide my editor. Okay, just my code is enabled. Yeah. And pop over here. Reload. Cross your eyes, cross your toes, cross your fingers, don't cross your eyes. You'll get stuck like that. Here's that. Okay, we are into character appearance. Our prop is character appearance. The property type is that. Let us begin. Source prop type, character appearance. Source prop type name, of course, also character appearance. View model type name is edit character appearance view model. You can see it right up here. And you can see that it's in this namespace that we are looking for. Okay? We've got that. We've got our executing assembly. Let's see if we get a view model type. We do. We now have an instance of the type definition for that dynamically figured out view model that we need to be able to build to express character appearance in our edit townsperson view model. Groovy. Type to create, view model type, property type, new instance. Oh, it doesn't like that. So, missing method exception, not handled in user code, no parameterless constructor defined for type, game tools, edit character appearance view model, yab. Let's take a look at edit character appearance view model, and I need to make that public. So what I'll do, this is an easy fix. Let's say stop and say public, edit character appearance view model. This, all done. You know what? I'll make this public. And let's take a look at the edit townsperson view model. It's also public. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Pardon me. And we do need to rebuild. Whoops. Up here. Rebuild. Rebuild the class. Library that drives my UI. Done building. Re-execute. And pop out here. Reload. Because I crashed it. All right. Source prop type. View model type. We good? We good. Do I have a new instance? I sure do. And now, yep, that's a fresh instance of edit character appearance view model. So our clone method info is not null. So we've got the method metadata for the method we're currently executing. Now we're going to make a new copy of a method that is expecting a character appearance instance as the source parameter, and it's going to be expecting a edit character appearance view model as the target parameter, and it's going to return that instance of the edit character appearance view model as the return type on this function, theoretically. Let's see what happens. We have fooled around. We will find out. And I'm not even going to bother trying to figure out where the heck I am in my call stack right now. Because we're now like 2 or 3 layers deep on this of self-referencing method invocations. All right, my target is of type edit character appearance view model. You can see that it's populated. Oh goodness, what are you doing? And we should have the description, but that generated property did not populate. So that's not great. But we're a little bit further than we were. And let's just let her rip through the rest and see what comes out on our screen. Go. Run, you fool. Oh, it might have been trying to spin this up for like a new character that it generates in the background when I instantiate this stuff. View. All right, there's Eloin. Let's take a look at this. And we have all of our things back. That is a thing of beauty. So, we've got all this stuff. I am going to run out to the character appearance. I'm going to use my handy dandy, just the fact that I added that breakpoint out here. And I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to cut it. I'm going to come over here and drop it on that version of our description property. And I'm going to come back over to character appearance. And I'm going to grab this build appearance context method. And we're going to cut it because it doesn't belong on the conceptual model for a character appearance. It belongs out here on our edit character appearance view model. And I need to bring in some namespace references back to that framework library that we had. Now, let's save. We've just made a significant alteration to the code base and how it runs. And so we get to rebuild yet again. It's a good thing it doesn't take too long. All right, we're good. Cross your fingers, cross your toes. Don't cross your eyes. Don't get stuck like that. Let's hit edit, and there we go. That's a thing of beauty. I want to make sure that we're actually stepping into our edit view model when we hit these things. Let's go ahead and drop some breakpoints in place. We'll go back to the list. I'm just navigating back. Value, that's all empty. All of that stuff, that's fine. I'm not worried about it. Keep stepping, we keep hitting this. Woo! That's executing a lot, man. Get out of here. Now I'm going to put this back, and I'll pop this down to the narrowest of views. And let's edit Ello and Brightwood again. Here we go. Here's our value. That is completely empty. See what happens when we hit it the next time. Also empty. Not liking the look of this. Here we go. There's all this stuff. Base.description, we've got all the goodies. Go, go, go. So we know we're getting into the edit character appearance view model here. Awesome. Striking golden complexion, complemented by ethereal sky blue hair that flows gently around his shoulders. Typically dresses in flowing garments adorned with natural motifs. He is a cartographer, favoring greens and blues to reflect the beauty of the forests he loves to explore. His eyes are a deep black with swirling constellations and stars within. Are jet black with swirling constellations and stars within. And let's save those changes. And we see that we're plumbing through the description property here inside our edit character appearance view model. Doing all of the reading and writing back to the base class. So I'm just going to let that rip, do its thing. Come back out to the view. Here's our little blurb about his eyes are jet black with swirling constellations and stars within. Go back to our character list, take a look at Grimble. Groovy, back. Come back into Eloin. We have successfully edited, updated, and persisted through our edit townsperson, its edit character appearance view model, and so on. We have had a successful and productive working session. We stood up a generic object cloner where we can clone from one instance of a type to a different instance of the same type, or from an instance of a base type to an instance of a child of that base type. And we can now use those to construct our view models. You see how I can now use the view model and override specific properties that I want to attach UI specific behavior to, properties from the original base class. And that I've been able to subsequently get rid of UI specific code in that base class that's held in an assembly that isn't just for the UI. So I'm able to really improve my separation of concerns, the consolidation of the UI specific logic into these UI specific projects, as well as improve the cohesiveness of that UI project. I'm going to call this a pretty big win. And now I can take this technique that I've developed here over the past day or two and apply it to the rest of these conceptual object, game object type things. Like if I spin up to here, and I'll do them one at a time, testing as I go. But I'm going to do this stuff offline because it's, excuse me, it's literally just lather, rinse, repeat of work that I've shown live on this stream. But I got to do the same thing to character background and the same thing to character vocation, because you can see they've both got this user editable thing. And then when I'm done with that migration, I can actually move the user editable annotation out of here and put it over in the UI project where I should have put it to begin with. Probably down here in the object services. I'll stand up like an attributes folder inside object services. And yeah, I'm pretty pleased with this. And then once all of this infrastructural rework is done, I'll be able to start enhancing the way these editable forms are being built. Doing things like grouping fields together so that they always render together in the same section of a form. Setting the order in which the fields are rendered to their section, setting the order of the sections, and doing an awful lot of things that are pure UI UX code, but I get to keep those in the UI process without polluting my domain models with information that really doesn't matter outside of the presentation zone. So I'm going to keep working on that. And we're going to get into some of those more advanced edit form rendering ideas in tomorrow afternoon's stream. Once again, I have had to change up my streaming schedule. I'm no longer going to be streaming twice daily. I'm just going to do it in the afternoon and a little bit later in the afternoon than I have been, because I am working with a freelance system developer who has found themselves with quite a bit more work than they have time to deliver. So I'm going to be helping them out on a part-time basis for the next little while. I don't know how long it's going to last. I hope it lasts a while, and I hope it grows into a really good, productive working relationship. But I'm going to just take that one day at a time. So until tomorrow, take care of yourselves, be kind to yourselves, and happy coding. Bye now.